Welcome to Double Your Vocabulary, the podcast that supercharges your English skills for real life. I'm Iris, your host, joined by my amazing co-host, Ernesto, and of course, our little pal, Spodie, who's probably napping on a dictionary right now.
It's great to be back with all of you, ready to tackle another common everyday situation. Today, we're diving into the essential skill of talking to a hairdresser in American English.
This topic is super practical and important, whether you're just getting a quick trim or a complete hair transformation. We'll give you all the phrases you need to feel confident and understood in the salon chair.
That's right, Iris. To make this really helpful, we're going to act out 3 different scenarios you might encounter at a hair salon. Think of these as your go-to guides for a perfect hair day.
We will cover everything from booking your appointment and describing the cut you want to giving feedback and settling up. Our goal is to make sure you leave the salon feeling fantastic about your new look and your English.
These simulations will give you the precise vocabulary and natural expressions native speakers use. Let's jump into the practice samples.
All right, for our first simulation, I'll be the client trying to book an appointment and explain what I want. Ernesto, you're the talented stylist at Chic Cut Salon.
Excellent, I'm ready to transform some hair. Let's get this started with the initial consultation.
Hi there, I'd like to book an appointment for a haircut and maybe some highlights. Do you have any availability next week, perhaps Tuesday afternoon?
Let me check the book for you. Yes, Tuesday at 2 p.m. with me, Ernesto, is open. Are you looking for a significant change or just a trim?
I'm thinking of getting some long layers to add volume and movement, and maybe a balayage for a sun-kissed look. My current hair feels a bit flat.
Great choice. Balayage would definitely brighten up your look, and the layers will give it that lift you're after. We can also discuss a root touch-up if needed during the consultation.
Perfect, that sounds wonderful. I'll take that 2 p.m. slot on Tuesday then. Should I arrive with clean, dry hair?
Yes, please come with clean, dry hair if possible. That helps us see your natural texture. We'll confirm everything when you arrive. See you Tuesday.
Okay, that was simulation 1. For our second scenario, Ernesto, you'll be the client in the chair, and I'll be your stylist. You're getting a fresh cut today.
All right, I'm excited to get rid of these split ends. So Iris, I'm looking for a clean, classic men's cut. I usually get it tapered on the sides and back.
Got it, a classic tapered cut. How much length do you want to take off the top? Are we talking just a trim to clean it up, or do you want it significantly shorter?
Just a trim on top, please, to maintain the length, but definitely clean up the sides and the back. I want it to look sharp and professional.
Understood. So, keeping the top a bit longer, maybe just taking off about ½ an inch, and then a tight fade on the sides. I'll make sure the hairline is neat.
That sounds perfect. And could you also trim my beard a little? Just a quick shaping to make it look tidy, nothing drastic.
Absolutely, I can certainly tidy up your beard for you. We'll have you looking sharp and refreshed in no time. And now for our third and final simulation in part 1. Here, Ernesto is the client, and I am the stylist again. This is about the final look and payment.
Okay, here's my chance to react to the amazing haircut you just gave me, Iris. I'm ready for the big reveal.
All right, Ernesto, take a look. What do you think of the new cut? Does it feel light and sharp like you wanted?
Wow, this looks absolutely fantastic. It's exactly what I pictured. The fade is perfect, and the length on top is just right. I love it.
I'm so glad you're happy with it. It suits you really well. Would you like to schedule your next appointment before you leave today?
Yes, definitely. Could I book another appointment for about 4 weeks from now? Same cut, please. And what's the total for today's service?
Of course, let me just find a slot for you in 4 weeks. The total for your cut and beard trim is $60. Are you paying with card or cash?
I'll pay with a card. Here you go. I really appreciate the excellent service, Iris. This is my new favorite place.
Thank you so much, Ernesto. We look forward to seeing you again. Your next appointment is confirmed for 4 weeks from today, same time.
That was a great run-through of some key salon interactions. We packed a lot of useful language into those simulations.
We certainly did. In the first simulation, I asked to book an appointment for a haircut and some highlights. That's a very direct way to start.
And I, as the stylist, asked if you were looking for a significant change or just a trim. This helps clarify the client's expectations right away.
I then used long layers to add volume and movement and balayage for a sun-kissed look. These are specific terms for haircut styles and coloring techniques.
Exactly, knowing terms like layers, volume, balayage, and root touch-up allows for a clear discussion about desired results.
In the second simulation, you, as the client, mentioned you wanted a classic men's cut and tapered on the sides and back. These describe specific shaping techniques.
Yes, and then I asked to just a trim on top, please, to maintain the length. This is a common phrase to indicate you don't want much off.
I clarified by asking, taking off about half an inch and a tight fade on the sides. This ensures we're both on the same page about the precise length and style.
And finally, in our third simulation, expressing satisfaction is key. I said, "Wow, this looks absolutely fantastic. It's exactly what I pictured. I love it."
That positive feedback is always great to hear. We also covered booking your next appointment and asking what's the total for today's service and payment methods like card or cash.
These phrases make the transaction smooth and professional. You're not just getting a great haircut, you're confidently handling the whole experience.
We've reviewed some key phrases from those situations. Now, let's explore why these expressions are so useful and discover some alternative ways to convey the same message without changing the meaning.
Absolutely, for our initial simulation, where we were making an appointment, saying, "I'd like to book an appointment," is very clear. You could also say, "I need to schedule a visit," or "I'm hoping to arrange a time for a cut."
Yes, those work well. And when describing the desired look, like requesting long layers to add volume and movement, you're giving precise instructions. Other options include, "I'm aiming for more body and flow in my hair," or "I want something that feels lighter and has more bounce."
That's excellent. When the stylist asks, "Are you looking for a significant change or just a trim?" they're clarifying your intention. You might hear, "Do you want a big transformation or just a little tidy up?" This helps everyone understand the scope.
Exactly. Moving to our second scenario, describing a men's haircut, saying tapered on the sides and back is specific. You might also explain it as shorter gradually towards the bottom, or a smooth transition from longer to shorter hair on the sides.
Right, and when you want to maintain the length on top, you're telling the stylist not to cut much off. You could say, "Keep the top as it is," or "Just a light dusting off the ends on top, please."
And for adding a detail like a beard trim, saying, "Could you also trim my beard a little?" is direct. An alternative is, "Would you mind tidying up my facial hair briefly?" This adds a small service politely.
Perfect for the third simulation when giving feedback, saying, "This looks absolutely fantastic. It's exactly what I pictured," shows strong approval. You could also express it as, "I couldn't be happier with how it turned out," or "This is precisely the result I was hoping for."
Those are great ways to give positive feedback. And when asking about the payment, instead of "What's the total for today's service?" you might ask, "What will the cost be for everything?" or simply, "How much do I owe you?"
Those variations make it very clear. Now, let's take some of these concepts and see how they apply to different everyday situations beyond the salon chair.
First, let's consider the idea of booking an appointment. While we used it for a haircut, this phrase is incredibly versatile. You might say, "I need to book an appointment with the doctor next week for a checkup."
Or at work, you could tell a colleague, "I'll book an appointment for us to discuss the project after lunch." It's a professional way to schedule any meeting.
Exactly. Next, remember when the stylist asked about a significant change or just a trim? This concept of clarifying the scope of work is useful everywhere. Imagine you're talking to a mechanic and you ask, "Is this a significant repair or just a minor adjustment?"
Or if you're helping a friend redecorate, you might ask them, "Are you looking for a significant change to the whole room or just a trim on the accessories?" This helps gauge their expectations.
That's a clever way to use it. Moving on, the idea of to add volume and movement was about describing a desired quality. You can apply this when discussing creative projects. For instance, "I want to add more volume to my presentation with stronger visuals means making it more impactful."
Right? Or if you're discussing a dish, you might say, "Adding fresh herbs will add more movement to the flavors," meaning it will make the taste more dynamic and interesting.
Our fourth useful phrase revolves around maintaining the length. This means keeping something consistent or not changing it drastically. At a coffee shop, you could say, I'd like to maintain my usual order, please, indicating you want the same drink as always.
And in a business setting, you might advise your team, we need to maintain the current project timeline, meaning we should stick to the schedule we have.
Lastly, the phrase "looks absolutely fantastic" conveys strong positive feedback. You can use this for almost anything you genuinely admire. For example, your new artwork looks absolutely fantastic on the wall.
Or after a friend cooks dinner, you can say, this meal looks absolutely fantastic, thank you. It's a wonderful way to give a compliment with enthusiasm.
These phrases truly are versatile for everyday communication. Now, let's think about how you can adjust your language to sound either more relaxed or more polite in different situations.
Good point. When you're making an appointment, a relaxed way to ask might be, can I get in sometime next week? Or any openings on Tuesday?
To sound more polite for the same request, you'd phrase it differently. I was wondering if you had any availability next week, or could you check if Tuesday works for a booking?
There's a clear difference. When describing what you want for a cut, a relaxed approach might be, just chop it off, not too short, or give me something low maintenance.
For a more polite description, you might say, I'm hoping for a shorter style that's easy to manage. Or, I'd appreciate it if we could reduce the length without going too short.
Exactly. Now imagine you're asking about the price. Relaxed would be, how much is it? Or what do I owe you?
But for a more polite inquiry about the cost, you'd probably say, could you tell me the total today? Or, what's the charge for the service?
And finally, giving feedback. A relaxed compliment might be, looks good, or yeah, I like it.
To express greater politeness and appreciation, you could say, I'm very pleased with the result, or it turned out wonderfully, thank you so much.
These subtle shifts in phrasing can really change how your message is received. It's about choosing the right words for the situation and your relationship with the person you're speaking to.
All right, let's switch gears for a rapid-fire challenge. Imagine this. A customer is genuinely upset with their haircut, maybe it's too short. How would you handle that immediate feedback gracefully?
I'd calmly say, I'm very sorry you're not happy with the cut. Please tell me what isn't right, and I'll see what we can do to fix it.
Good one. Next up, you arrive for your scheduled appointment, but the stylist is clearly running 30 minutes behind. What's a polite way to address the delay?
I'd ask, excuse me, I have an appointment at time. Do you have an estimated wait time, or should I reschedule?
Excellent. Last rapid fire. You're halfway through your consultation, and you suddenly remember a crucial detail about your hair, maybe a preference for your fringe that you forgot to mention. How do you interject?
I'd interrupt gently. Oh, I just remembered one quick thing. Could we also make sure to mention forgotten detail, please?
Those quick responses truly highlight how important clear, respectful communication is. Now, before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize 3 key takeaways from today's discussion.
First, remember that expressions for making a reservation are incredibly flexible. You can use phrases like set up a meeting or arrange a time for many different life situations, not just your hair.
Absolutely. Second, always aim to clarify the scope of any task. Whether it's a home improvement project or a simple request, ensure everyone understands the extent of what needs to be done to avoid surprises.
And third, providing enthusiastic positive feedback is a powerful tool. When you genuinely appreciate something, expressing it clearly and with warmth strengthens relationships and encourages great work.
That brings us to the end of another fantastic episode. We hope these fresh insights into common phrases and their applications have been helpful. For more practical English tips and to expand your vocabulary, make sure to subscribe to Double Your Vocabulary wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest episodes. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.